For those that wonder why I laughed, Harstem just hosted the map and just went go. In the player slot we had Yoga, the French caster. That was too funny. He's just like, whoops. We had to catch that. Alright guys, welcome back in to the round of 64 here at the Red Bull Global Qualifiers. I'm Cheesehead Logic, and of course we have these two baller nerds with us. Starting down here at the bottom left side of the map in the red, representing Fnatic, we have Harstem. Played a good reactionary playstyle to last game. You know, sometimes when you see 3 hatch before pull as a Zerg, you of course, I feel like it's almost, you need to instantly try to put on some form of pressure, do something possibly just to harass your opponent. Don't let him just get a free 3 base economy, because at that point, that's when, you know, the flood of units starts coming in. It almost becomes nearly impossible to deal and hold with, and after that, usually a quick fourth. And really, like I said, the world is your oyster. So Harstem did a good job going for that Blink Stalker play, put on a lot of pressure really quickly, starting to pick off Queens. Blink upgrade finished up, managed to blink out of a couple of these quick little surrounds, and then once the Zealots started buffering against the Lings and the Spine Crawlers, it was basically game over at that point. So I know Nestea, if you could have, he would have wanted about another minute or so, and that maybe would have been enough for him to stabilize. I'm actually not even sure if that would have even been enough. It's very tough to deal with that type of pressure when you just have that low amount of army value on the map. Just don't have enough time to produce units. You went a little bit too heavy into econ, into tech. He's of course going to be facing off over here at the top right against his opponent. It is Nestea. Good old Nestea, multi-GSL champion, world-renowned StarCraft player. Again, you know, maybe not the same Nestea as we saw back in 2011, 2012, but hey, you know what? There comes a time and place when you gotta hand over the crown. All kings fall, man. Valor, what is it? Valor Mal'Ganis, or God, what's that Game of Thrones called? Valor Mal'Ganis, man. Every man dies, you know. All men must die. So you know, eventually you got to hand over the crown. And again, there was a time and place where I feel like some of the playstyle for Nestea was a little bit more favored. Again, if you remember back in Wings of Liberty for Zergs, when just basically flooding Lings, Banelings, and Mutas was actually a very viable early game style, especially versus Bio. It was very, very actually entertaining to watch him. Now we do have this one probe trying to attempt to block the hatchery as long as it can for Harstem. Eventually it will go down. Spots that there is at least a natural area. Now, the one thing Harstem, of course, doesn't know of just yet is the fact about this gold hatchery that's building right now. But, man, if he gets another couple seconds, can that probe stay alive? Can that probe stay alive? Do you believe, Harstem? Do you believe? He believes! That probe believes! Spawns that gold hatchery, and that's not good for Nestea. I'll say that right now. That's not good for Nestea. We have one Zealot out. We already have a second one underway. I would imagine we should have a Mothership Core following this up pretty shortly. Now, Harstem did open up single gas. That's just due to the fact to get a little bit quicker resource count up and get that natural up and going. But when you have this already aggression coming out right now, I feel like this is going to be very hard to hold. Again, just like last game, it might not be 3 hatch before pool, but man, grabbing that gold hatch right away could be just as dangerous if you let a Zerg get away with it. So you could already see Harstem's planning to put on a lot of aggression now. At this point, I don't know if he's got enough gas, and it looks like he doesn't have enough gas econ to be able to actually get out a Mothership Core in time, so he's just going to go with standard gate pressure. Now, Nestea does know this is coming. He does have that Overlord in position. It's really going to be up to him to prepare defense for this, and he might actually have it prepared in time. He's already got 2 queens. He's got a Spine Crawler underway. He's got some Lings that are backing off, trying to get back home. Nestea's got a Roach Warren underway. Natural Hatch is finished up. He's got queens there as well. And, man, if you're Harstem, you got to be a little bit heartbroken. You really did want to put a little bit of pressure on him. And the best thing about that was Nestea didn't overreact. He didn't overreact. Times like that could be really bad because Nestea, somebody like Zerg could just, you know, overproduce in units right there rather than take the risk and chance of building workers and just getting his econ going again. So Nestea, though, with a Roach worn down, should be able to get some units out and coming. He, of course, doesn't know exactly what's going on inside the main base in Harstem, going for the punish style, man. Watching Harstem right now reminds me of watching somebody like Huck. I'll admit, it reminds me of like I'm watching Huck, and this is going to be a lot of aggression. Of course, the problem right now with the Nestea is the fact that this third hatch is so damn far away from everything else. Trying to build another spine crawler, getting a lot of get a lot of lings and roaches in production as well. Clearing out overlords out in the middle of the map, and again, once he notices that amount of units, he's got to be a little bit wary about his positioning. Rocks, of course, are not broken down, and look at FnaticHarstem, just so sneaky. He knows that the focus of the defense is going to be on this gold hatch, and where he's just going to go where the spine crawlers are not. So greed decides everything in this game, and Harstem, man, getting rewarded for it. Trying to produce some units. Instead, actually, we have Nestea going for the counterattack, and honestly, this is not going to work because the problem right now is going to be he's going to lose all of these workers. He should lose all of these workers. He should lose all of his econ. And back at home, as long as just, you know, Nestea prepares some defenses back at home and maybe gets a sentry up here on the high ground, he should be able to force field all of these forces off continuously. And there we go. No, he actually lets the lings come in here. Harstem not paying attention right there to his units. Force fields off finally, but a little bit late right there, I would imagine. He still has a chance right now if he goes with these Zealots and tries to clear out additionally these units, get another force field up and running. He should be okay, but man, just unfortunate right I want to say unfortunate right there for Harstem. We have lings in production, of course. These are speedlings, so these aren't the slow little babies that we saw earlier in the game. Meanwhile, Gold Hatch is still surviving. Man, this is actually a pretty big mistake on Harstem's end that, you know, does open up at least a small opportunity for Nestea to take this base trade. Speedling is trying to do their best to surround all the units that they possibly can inside the map, inside the main base. Though it looks like it will be able to, for now, at least clear out a majority of these units. Nestea down to 10 workers, Harstem still up at 36, but both players are sitting on one base. Roach is trying to micro their hearts out, but a lot of pressure right now. If Harstem just warps in another round of stalkers, he actually should be able to just clear out these roaches. Alright, one goes down. Is he warping in a zealot? No, he's just warping in zealots right now, okay. I guess he doesn't exactly have the highest gas count imaginable. Oh, he doesn't have a cyber core. That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, why is he not warping in some stalkers? He doesn't have a cyber core. Down to 4 roaches right now. Can Harstem make it happen? Now another flood of lings coming on in here, but the lings are not going to be as helpful, especially once all of these roaches are gone. Trying to do their best to surround all of these units out in the middle of the map. Do manage to catch a couple of stalkers, so again, once again, opens up an opportunity for our Nestea right now. Man, this game, crazy stuff. What am I watching? Now, one thing I actually did notice on the other side of the map at the top right, Nestea never lost his main hatch. Harstem never finished it off, so this is not exactly good for Harstem 100% because he will be able to produce pretty quickly off of these hatcheries. Right now, Nestea should be really heavily focusing up on his econ, even attempting to retake his hatchery if he possibly can right now. Harstem's not exactly in a position where he wants to be aggressive. He's going to be more passive than anything right now. That one base econ doesn't exactly allow you to produce units very, very efficiently. Now, he is beginning to move out. I don't like that. I don't like that. Right now, he just doesn't have enough units out on the field. There's already a lot more roaches, a lot more lings. And this is actually a pretty big flood of lings right here for Nestea that's out on the middle of the map. There we go. He's trying to get his worker count back up again. Oh, Harstem, I'm going to be so heartbroken for you if you lose this game. Now here come the roaches, here come the speedlings. Harstem caught out in the middle of the map. His mothership core is out, but no potential recall available to him. Lings are, though, getting cleared out right now. Oh my goodness, could he actually push this back right now? He is beginning to push this back. He just has to micro properly against all of this. Mothership Core, of course, is going to slowly tickle away at some of these roaches with a couple of stalkers and some sentries that should, at least for the moment being, at least allow him to have enough defense. Man, I was really worried for Harstem right there. I was so damn worried. I'm like, no! He's going to get surrounded outside of his natural. Stay alive, my friend. Stay alive. I don't know, man. I like Harstem. He's one of the good guys. He's one of the good guys in esports. Very fun personality. Would have been just really sad to see him go because Ling get roached around. Alright, Harstem getting his +1 upgrade right now. Second base is back up and running again. Still pretty efficient 2-base mining, but as you can see, already a lot of shaved off minerals. Harstem's going to be soon transitioning from 1 base to 1 base. He might need to think about grabbing, there we go. Looks like he is planning about that 3rd Nexus right now. And due to the fact that Nestea threw away all of those Lings, there is no harass opportunity or harass potential for him. Again, how many times have you seen it? You know, Zerg's in position, he spots it with the Overlord, and then just sends a flood of Lings to the 3rd base just to surround, just to force a cancel on it. That can't happen right now. That just cannot happen. So Nestea finishing up his lair tech right now, does need to retake this natural hatchery, and it looks like the drone is just in position waiting for enough. He actually has enough resources. I wonder what he's waiting for specifically. There we go. Takes the hatchery, Evo chamber and array, infestation pit, and looks like we're going to be going back to swarm hosts. Now the cool thing right now for Nestea is we could take a look and see he does have a lot of presence out on the map already. He's trying to spread his creep everywhere he possibly can. He's got it going back up to the north. He's got a lot going towards the south as well. Queen's starting to slowly pick away at the Mothership Core. Will force it back for the time being. And you know, that's a scary thing. That's a scary thing if you can't punish that. Robo coming down, I think that's what, especially Harstem knows. He's like, yeah, I need to get a Robo. Need to get some form of detection out right now on the map, because if I don't, that's going to be a very big problem. Swarm hosts come out, they're going to path their way, and they're going to be able to get those locusts up very quickly within my base, and we don't want to see that happen again. Now with the first swarm host coming out right now, 3 of course is not exactly a very dangerous number that you got to worry about, but man, within minutes of those 3, we're going to probably see even some more. And when you, like I said, you don't have Colossus, you don't have Storms, when you don't have that AoE to be able to wipe little by little those Locust forces out or slowly push them back, it's very hard to pull off. And of course Harstem's hallucination does spot these swarm hosts out on the map. A few speed roaches and lings are kind of walking around over here, but just got to be very careful. You got to be very careful. You got to be very careful. Now, the fact that he did spot those swarm hosts, I'm really wondering what's taking him so long to throw down that Robo. He's not throwing down the Robo, he's going to go for the War Prism instead, getting the +2, the Blink, and everything else. Very risky and very dangerous choice. But he is beginning to slowly clear out some of that creep. Roaches and Lings will distract and aggro some of the fire while the next set of Locusts does come out. More force fields will need to get placed from to prevent these Locusts actually from reaching some of these units. Good catch on the Roaches though, by the way. Able to catch the Roaches, and that's a nice little pick off right there. Slowly we can see Harstem pressing his way forward closer to the watchtower. Good set of creep cleared out, but again there is also the creep over on the right side of the map getting closer and closer to his 3rd base. Total pack of looks like 7 swarm hosts right now out on the map with 5 more in production. Nestea's gonna it's not gonna take too long. He's gonna get to that critical mass right now. Swarm host, you know, with 7 already out on the map, 12 is gonna be too many to take on. But this is pretty cute right here because he is trying to go from the low ground to the high ground, utilizing the observer to poke away at some of these units, and we can see he should be able to at least get that spine crawler, especially with the help of the Mothership Core. Transfuse coming through, actually saving the Mothership Core for the time being. We'll press him back. Good snipe on the Observer right there. That's something we don't talk about a lot. Good focus fire. That takes out detection, so no possible vision of these swarm hosts nor their creeps. So for now, we should see maybe a little bit of that creep save. No, never mind. Second Observer does come in. Man, ST just killing it right now. Harstem, though, you know, saying, I'm not worried. Everything's going to be alright, guys. War Prism harass within the main. Split attack over here at the natural now. This isn't the game ender right now. This is not the game ender right here because, again, all of this should be forced back and he should be able to actually beat all this down. But what this is doing is distracting Nestea. He has to put all of his attention on his main and his natural right now. We have another frontal push coming over here on the backside. Now, this is pretty cute because what Harstem's going to do, he's going to force field this whole entire area off. He's going to pick off this hatchery. If he can, he's actually just going to go straight for the main. Throws down a time warp. Does he have enough for a recall? He's going to need a little bit of time to get that recall. I was about to say, he's going to take out the natural, force field all of this off, go within the main, kill all of that, and then just recall out. Just goes for a natural and recalls out. Even better. Doesn't risk it. Zelda starting to slowly hacking away here at the main base, but Roach is coming out and clearing that bad boy up. Now Harstem is up to 4 base, but remember, we had a very similar scenario to last game. We had Harstem up 4 base to what seemed to be just 2 of Nestea's, but eventually the swarm host numbers were a little bit too much for some of these units to actually handle. Now with Blink upgrade already finished up for these Stalkers, of course, if they somehow manage to get a decent position on the Swarm Host, they might be able to Blink on top of them. But until you get the Colossus out, until you get that AoE that we've been talking about all game long, it's going to be very tough for him to find a way through to him. And here we go, he's trying his best, but here comes the force fields, and you can see those sentries starting to get lower and lower on energy, man. You just can't budge against this, and here we go. Once again, Nestea starting to slowly force his way into the 3rd base area. If he takes out the 3rd base, if he takes out the 4th base as well, if he notices that, man, I mean, we're looking at a very deja vu type of game. Very, very deja vu type of game, because already main base is practically mined out. Natural's starting to shave off as well. Good force of Stalkers, good force of sentries coming over here to the other side of the map. Again, there's nowhere near enough to be able to actually deal with this. Main base trying to produce, looks like the Spire and some Spine Crawlers. I don't know if he's going to have really a lot of time to be able to work with the Spire. He does have, looks like, about 600 gas, but really what are you going to be able to get with it? He needs to cancel the Spire, lets the Spire finish up, and automatically gets killed off by those DTs, and those are not your baby 0 upgraded DTs. Those are your +3 hack and slash, you know, Jason Voorhees, man, like, just absolutely ripping everything. Action all over the map right now. Some Storm Hosts are coming back to help defend over here. We'll press the Stalker Force back. Again, not enough energy to recall right now, so the best he could do is probably Time Warp just to buy himself a little bit more time. Meanwhile, over here, Queens and Roaches knock down that 3rd hatch. Recall happens on a dead Nexus. Man, that was just split second. I don't know how he managed to pull that off, but is able to get a few Queens, is able to get a few Roaches along the way as well. Now, the one thing right here for Harstem, he's up 142 to supply to 176. He doesn't really have a lot of support for the Storm Host right now. All he really needs to do is just force field off some of these units and get the jump on him. Continuing to press with the Swarm Hosts. Gotta be very careful, Nestea. Like any Swarm Host that you lose, man, it could be just really, really dangerous. Locust still continually chasing units out of the way. Is the Mothership Core alive? The Mothership Core is alive. This might not be the worst time just to bring the Mothership Core over here and just start sniping it. Yeah, exactly. There we go. That's exactly what Harstem's thinking. Bring over the Mothership Core. Start sniping down at the Swarm Host. He's going to have to lift them up, and while he lifts them up, you blink right on top of them. Harstem jumping on the opportunity right now. He's going to be able to pick off at least 4 to 5 maybe Swarm Hosts before these Locusts become very problematic for him. Harstem, I think he might actually have this game, and GG, well played. His call from Nestea. Harstem moves on. He does it, man. He made it happen. Great play from Harstem right there. A good jump.